Hey, welcome back, guys. Hope you're all doing well. It's a big day. This thing's finally assembled. So, it's a miracle. This guitar is finally assembled. There's really not much left to do. Basically, the setup. It's got to be tuned up, intonated, bridge needs to be set up, and I got to put a guitar strap on it. We aren't going to be testing it in this video for a couple reasons, one of which is it's 11:30 p.m. and there's a baby sleeping upstairs. So that's not going to happen. I have run myself out of time despite taking an extra week to come out with this one, so my apologies. It happens these days a lot. Pardon me. We're also, I've lost some of the footage somehow, like some of the footage for the assembly process got corrupted. I hate technology, but anyway, some of that footage got corrupted, so I am going to do kind of a concise assembly video, but you guys have seen pretty much everything that'll be in it before. There's nothing specific to the guitar or the kit, really. You guys have seen me use these awesome Railhammer pickups before. You've seen me use the Gun Street wiring harness setups. The only thing that's really new, you've seen me put in this type of locking tuners, the works, right? The only thing that's really new here that I haven't shown in my videos before is this Babix full contact bridge. And it's really cool. Like, there's a lot going on here. So that's what we're going to focus today's video on. And I will have, I think, some footage of me putting that in, but it gets put in much the same way as any other Tune-o-matic bridge, right? You put your posts in, the holes weren't quite right on this one, so I had to drill them out a little bit. There's nothing special about that. They do come with a couple of different size inserts, but still, the small ones were way too small and the big ones were a little too big, so I had to drill out a bit. No problems there. Got that done, and well, for one, it looks really cool. But the interesting thing about the Babix system is it's all done on a system of one screw locks things in place and the other screw adjusts them. So unlike with your typical Tune-o-matic, you don't just have the adjustment screw. There's a lot less opportunity for things to go wrong, right? A lot less opportunity for things to move because everything gets locked in place. The contact points for the strings, also very smooth, more so than your average Tune-o-matic. There's nowhere for the string to go really sideways, which is nice. So all that's awesome. Way more adjustable than most systems, and I'll show you why. But like each saddle can adjust height and intonation. So I can set my action for each string depending on what my neck radius is or what have you, and I can set both the rough intonation for the entire bridge and the individual intonation for each saddle. It's an awesome setup, and it's a full contact setup. The whole thing is pressed right against the guitar, so if you're someone that believes that that has an impact on tone, well, here you have it. Kind of following the principle of an acoustic guitar. You know how the acoustic guitar bridge, maybe we'll see the one behind me here, the acoustic guitar bridge is set right against the soundboard, obviously. And you know, some people have experimented with using electric guitar bridges on acoustic guitars without a whole lot of success, perhaps. Same principle, I guess. So you can install these onto a flat top guitar or a carved top. There are a couple different options for the plate that goes underneath the bridge to make it work for either of those. So yeah, let's quickly chat about this, and then let's take a closer look at this bridge and how it gets adjusted. I'm going to show you guys how that works, and then in the next video, we should have a little bit of footage of me actually assembling it, and we'll hopefully actually test it out. We know it's going to sound good. What's not to like? We've tested this type of pickup before. We know the wiring harness is good. It's a good quality kit. Anyway, let's talk about this bridge and take a closer look at it. All right, so let's talk about what we've got here. Obviously, we won't spend a bunch of time playing with it, but we've got our stop tail here. We've got our bridge, of course. There's also a washer here that can go on top of the bridge on either side. I don't have that in place right now. Like I said before, everything on this seems to be built on the principle of being able to lock things in place or unlock things and move them. So you've got a kind of a broader adjustment on either side here with a set screw to mess with the intonation of the entire bridge at once if you want. And you can play with that by loosening those screws a bit and then making your adjustment here and here, and that'll push the entire side of the bridge forward or back. So that's how you set kind of your rough intonation. Then each saddle has a height adjustment as well as an intonation adjustment, and we have 2 different Allen keys that come with this thing. So let's cover that quickly here. I would suggest doing the height adjustment first. Set the action on your guitar and then start playing with your intonation. And you do the height adjustment with the smaller of these. And for each of these, you've got, again, a lock and an adjustment. So the lock, I believe, is on the left here. Unlock this one. And we'll just play with this one for now, our low E. So I unlock it, and then, oops, and then I can adjust the height of the saddle up or down using this. So I don't know if you guys can see that in the camera, but if I turn it to the right, now it's way up here. And if I turn it to the left, counterclockwise, it's going to lower that down so I can lower my action. Helpful to tune up before doing this. I don't have a lot of tension on these strings right now. But once you've got that set, you can do that for all of them, of course, then you just go back in and lock it back down, and that's that. And once it's locked down, I can't move it anymore. Okay, so string height for each, right on the saddle here. Lock on the left, adjustment on the right. Crazy. Now I switch to my, well, this is where I would do the, what I'll call the rough intonation, where I would move the sides of the bridge to change the angle of the entire thing. And then once I've got that done, then I can set the fine intonation using the larger Allen key, which is what I would also use for the rough intonation. And here again, we've got a system where, you know, once you've locked that in place, then you can unlock each individual saddle at the front here. And once you've got it unlocked, you can adjust it front or forward or backward using these screws. Not sure I got that quite right. Hang on. There we go. Gotta be careful, but unlock at the front, and then I can move this forward or backward. Again, using the individual intonation screw, which moves the entire saddle. My Allen key has kind of the ball on the end to allow me to do that a little bit more effectively. Or you can, of course, put it in this way. And then once I'm done, you guessed it, we lock it back in place. Okay, well, I didn't actually adjust, obviously, all of these into place because I'm going to have to plug into a chromatic tuner. We all know how to do intonation adjustments on these things, I'm sure, but the height adjustment for the saddle and your truss rod adjustment will have to kind of be done at the same time. This will set, of course, the bottom of the neck more so than anything else. The truss rod will set the bow of the neck, and then you have to have your nut height set correctly. And then for anybody who doesn't know, and again, I'm sure you do, the harmonic for the 12th fret and the actual strum note for the 12th fret should match. That's how you know your intonation is set correctly. So you check those, do your rough intonation to get close, and then do your individual intonations. And that's a lot easier if you're using a chromatic tuner, or at least I find it easier that way, but it can also be done by ear as long as you have your guitar tuned up. The problem is once you start playing with your intonations, your tuning is going to change a little bit. You have to reset it to the correct key every time and then adjust your intonation from there. So maybe we'll do a video on that at some point, but I'm confident. I've never looked it up, but I'm confident that there are tons of great videos out there on how to set your string action and how to set your intonation. There are a lot of very talented guitar techs on YouTube, so check them out if you don't know how to do that. See what they do. And yeah, get yourself a Babix bridge if you're interested, because it will make that process very precise and probably pretty easy. We'll do a video on it at some point. All right, guys, so that's it. That's the kit. looks awesome. Really excited to get it set up and play it. And that is the Babix Full Contact Bridge System. Again, really exciting stuff. Available through Solo Guitars. The Solo Music Gear link in the description. If you want to get it through there, is an affiliate link. Really helps me out if you do that. As always, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you've got any comments on this, any tips, let me know. And yeah, I'll get these screws replaced with gold ones at some point here. As always, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a good one, and I will see you next time. That was a thumbs up, because if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe.